Hello again. I'm going to bring you a review now of a glove from Reusch's, or one of Reusch's various ranges. They sort of change things on a whim these days, and their gloves, in a fashion not dissimilar to Allsport, but even more glaringly, have gotten increasingly garish and full of unnecessary colour, but as I say, it's what people want. This is a bit of an anomaly, this glove, and it provides me with an opportunity to talk about one or two things I don't like about the direction of certain companies, Reusch being the example here. This is part of the Ceptor range, which was released, as I say, a couple of seasons ago. It's just a nice, solid, basic, flat palm goalkeeper glove. The colour is obviously the mixture of the black and the green, and it's the typical very, very comfortable Reusch flat palm presentation. It's got the gussets, negative gussets on the side of the fingers there on the pinky and on the index, which just give a nicer feel. Even though there's the rolling of the latex with the G2, which is the symbol of the latex on there, they haven't actually rolled it over. It's a flat palm thumb, which makes that whole process rather pointless. But excuse me. The glove itself is referred to as the Prime, and this is an example of a glove which is included within the various Reusch ranges. What it is effectively and essentially is a simplification, a removal of all the unnecessary pap that Reusch seem fit to pack all their gloves with, and have done for a number of years now, as an excuse to jack up the price. I mean, it's amazing to me that the absolute top-end Reusch glove, which includes all their Orthotech technology and all of the bells and whistles, and I'm surprised it's not a self-driving glove or something, is £200. A goalkeeper glove now, you have to pay £200 for it, which is just, well, again, that anybody who pays £200 for that deserves what they get, because paying £200 for a goalkeeper glove, it's absolutely absurd. This, to me, is the essence of what a goalkeeper glove should be. It is simple, it is made with classic, reliable materials. As I said, to try the glove on, it's got the typical reverse configuration of the strap, but once it's on, it's absolutely beautiful. You've got a bit of venting material there, so obviously it can be a bit cold to wear in some icier conditions, but in the summer this is a lovely glove to wear. It's indented into the palm, so obviously you prevent unnecessary tearing. Strap itself is just your basic Bogo standard latex strap. It's a beautiful glove, really, really comfortable and reliable. Sizing is a bit of an issue with Reusch. They're the opposite of Allsport, in that I find that Allsport gloves are usually half a size too big. Reusch gloves, I find, are half a size too small. I'm a size 8 in the vast majority of gloves that I wear. This is an 8.5 and it fits me perfectly. So I don't quite know what it would have been like if I'd got an 8. I bought it off eBay and I paid £35 for this glove. And this glove features, as I alluded to earlier, the G2. I know obviously this video is reversed, so you can't really see it, but I assure you it says G2 Ultra Soft. G2 is the absolute top softest latex that Reusch provide. It's used by the vast majority of their endorsees. It is a staggeringly good latex. It does wear, although these have held up very well. I've worn them a few times and they've resisted. And I think it's a bit more resilient than the G1, the precursor to this latex. But it is such a good latex. The grip is phenomenal. It's wonderful in wet or dry. It's a brilliant, brilliant glove in terms of what you want a goalkeeper glove to do, essentially, which is just be a goalkeeper glove. I've enjoyed using it very much. I intend to use it more. But as I say, it's important to me because it's referred to as the Prime. It's an acknowledgement on Reusch's part that there are still lots of goalkeepers who don't want to pay £200 for their gloves and just want a goalkeeper glove to be what a glove has always been, which is a simple but necessary tool for goalkeepers. So, having used this glove, how comfortable it is, how well made it is, how fantastic the latex is, and even by current Reusch standards, how tasteful it is in terms of colour, I can't for the life of me imagine why anyone would spend the kind of money that Reusch dare to charge for some of their more recent offerings. It's beyond me, frankly. Um, Reusch gloves do have the habit of depreciating quite aggressively, so you will get the opportunity to try out different examples and variations. I do have a soft spot for Reusch. I'm from the generation of aspiring goalkeepers who grew up in the late 80s through to the early 90s, so everybody was wearing either Sondico, All Sport, or Reusch in those days. And my first proper pair of goalkeeper gloves were Reusch, so I have enormous affection for the brand, even without the arrow. I still get a kick out of wearing a Reusch pair of gloves, and these were an incredibly pleasant surprise. And it would be wonderful if Reusch could go back to just making gloves like this. But as I say, if the market says otherwise, I know Reusch, their biggest markets now are in South America, and I know they've got a lot of endorsees in Italy. But this to me is the exact example of what a goalkeeper glove should be, and it had a reasonable price. But it's almost as if Reusch are highlighting but mocking by calling it, saying, "Why would you want this? This is just a goalkeeper glove." And it's like, well, that's what I want. But for what it is, it's comfortable. It's the sizing issue. Obviously, you have to take that into consideration because hands are different. All hands are different, so you might prefer it tight. But I like just a little bit of room. But this is an 8.5, 8.5, and it's perfect. But it is a really, really good glove. But it prompts for me personally a bit of an internal referendum on where Reusch think they're taking the direction of their gloves. But every single range from every single manufacturer seems to be increasing in price with every single season. So perhaps it's not as unusual, but this is, to me, if you want a Reusch goalkeeper glove with their very best latex, you really can't go wrong.